Hey folks, hello, welcome back, welcome. I'm glad that you're here with me again today, and welcome to The Drive with Brandon Washington. I'm glad that you and I will be sharing these special moments each day, other than Monday, because I don't do the show on Monday. But I'm glad that we can share these moments, and I'm glad that you guys have stuck with me over this last week of doing it and doing it again for its second week. I really do appreciate it. So we have a few different things that I want to talk about today. I want to read off a few of these topics that we're going to be talking about. Well, I won't say a few different topics because the for today is mentorship and heroes. But there's a few things that go along with that topic, and I have a few announcements that I want to make as well. Why wait any longer? Let's just jump right into the things that need to be said today. Let's talk about the mentorship and heroes. Mentorship and heroes. Now, most people will probably say, okay, I get it. Mentorship, heroes, yes, those two things seem to go directly together. But of course, I don't know. We kind of put our heroes into one category because usually, in most cases, the folks that I've met, we're talking about heroes that are either mythical or we have a lot of people who have heroes who are drawn from experiences that they have in their lives. And those heroes might not be people who are actually present in their lives. It may be an idea of a hero or an idea of what a hero really is that they've gained through it could be their parents have kind of influenced that. It could be society. It could be an archetypal thing where there's an archetype of the specific hero that's out there, and you simply fall into that wave. Hey, everybody who's watching, good to see you. Sharon, honey, love, good to see you. Pass it on, tell some people. But yeah, there are different areas where people will draw those ideas or inspirations of what they believe a hero is. But most of the time when I think of heroes, again, I think of things that are kind of far off, or an idea of something, not an actual person who you can speak with. This hero could be an inspiration, and it may allow you to draw a lot of wonderful things from that hero. But when I'm talking about heroes and mentors, when I think of mentors, I'm thinking of people who are present in your life, people that you can go to ask those questions, people who are in a position in life where you would like to be, and that you can model that after them. Now, the reason I bring up heroes and mentors at the same time is because typically I can see where we could draw a bit of a parallel from what you believe as far as what a hero could be and something that you're striving towards. But also, if that kind of sets the overall parameter of your ideas of what a hero is or something that you're striving to, then that also should be present in a mentor. And if you have those ideas of a hero, but no mentor, that's the question I would be asking. Why don't you? Now, I don't want to paint the picture of heroes or people that we admire as just these far off ideas. A lot of us may have people that we look to that we think of as heroes, and then try to model ourselves after those people. But the reason why I brought that up is because, hey guys, Latrice and Dan, I've got an announcement to talk about. Speaking of Dan, who's right there, it shows that Dan is watching, and Rebecca Burkle, good to see you as well. What I wanted to say, though, is when we were talking about these ideas about mentors, sometimes those mentors are baseball stars, rappers, football players, people that you know, but usually it's somebody who is either in a position that you want to be in, or somebody who's done the things that you want to do, or somebody that is just so amazing at what they're doing, whatever aspect of life that they're doing it in, that you want to kind of emulate that person.
And again, the reason I bring up mentors is because usually a person that is in one of these positions, if you can find somebody who kind of closely matches that hero that you may have, hopefully that mentor can help you to either grow into more of an image of the mentor, but ultimately to get to whatever that idea of that hero that you have. And I bring up the idea of the hero because the other day when we were talking about knowing yourself and getting a better understanding of who you really are. And a good way to find out who you really are is to kind of look at the people that you emulate and the people that you model. And that could be those heroes, but in a more practical sense, could be those mentors. Now, if we take a look at who your current heroes are, or those people who you look to as influences, or the people that you admire, you might start to build yourself an inventory of all of those things that you like about that person. And when you do that inventory of all those things that you like or admire about that person, you can stop for a moment and do a little bit of introspective thinking about why you like those particular characteristics. And then after drawing those particular characteristics out and listing them, you can try to see if some of those characteristics are things that you currently have, or are there areas where you have a few deficiencies and you have to look for an area of improvement. So that listing not only gives you a good opportunity to kind of point out those characteristics that you get, the true characteristics of why you like these heroes or the people that you admire, and it gives you that opportunity to then turn that internally. And then once you've turned it internally and you've figured out what your best things are, and you've figured out where your deficiencies are too, because we all have something that we need to work on and learn. It should be all a continuous process. Then you can take those items and you can put those items towards that mentor, if you've already found that mentor. And if not, if you don't have a mentor already, perhaps you can take those skills that you have and account for those skills, but more so look at the deficiencies and try to find someone that perfectly encapsulates the best of those deficiencies that you are trying to make better and you're trying to improve upon. Somebody who has already gone through these things, somebody who's already at a higher level, somebody who's reached the pinnacle of whatever their dreams or aspirations or goals are, even people who have reached it in an interim level but are already a bit higher at that level than you are. It doesn't have to be the end all be all, just someone who has accomplished those things that you want to accomplish. Because sometimes when we talk about mentors, the idea is that it's someone who has done it all, seen it all, and can simply just walk you right through every one of those steps. Well, in reality, a lot of the times the people that we find that can be mentors that don't really know that they're mentors are the people who do practical things around you. They may be the coworkers that you have at work. They might even be people that you wouldn't think of as mentors. Because, of course, mentorship doesn't have to always just to be about business achievement or academic achievement or how this person can help me get to another position. It can be about mutual learning. It might be something that you have a deficiency in, and somebody that you wouldn't think could share some way to decrease that deficiency. I would be pretty open to considering that person as a mentor. I'll give an example. Sometimes I find it hard to express my emotions correctly with my family. It's easier for me to prescribe things for other people to do than sometimes it is for me to do some of those things myself. Again, one of those things would be being able to completely share those feelings with your family. My daughter, although super shy out in the regular world,
She has no problem being able to show emotion with her mother and her son and her brother, excuse me, and me, of course. So one of those things that I can learn from her and use as a bit of a mentorship moment, even with my own children, someone who's much younger than me, doesn't have as much experience navigating in this world, can still teach you something that you may not be able to achieve on your own, or they may be that good support that you need that to get over that last little hurdle. So basically what I'm saying is there's something to learn and know and grow from anybody who's out there. Don't take advantage or granted the people that are around you in practical roles that may be able to be a mentor to you, or that you may be able to be a mentor for. I wrote out a few questions about mentors and heroes that I'd love you guys to be able to comment on and to put down in the comment boxes. I want to know from you guys, what makes a hero? What in your life what are the things that you value in your life that you think that a true hero also would value? What are the things that defines a hero? Another question would be, who do you admire? Is there some person out there that right now you have a better understanding of who they are, of who you are, from observing who they are? Do you have that person that's out there who, anytime you need an example of what to do or maybe even what not to do, that person is there for you? Is there somebody out there in your life? Is that a mom? Is that your brother? Is it a coworker? I want to know who those people are, because again, remember, when you start to do these things where you're being a bit more introspective, or you're being a bit more mindful, you start to realize that there's a lot more support out there than you really would have assumed. There are more people who are willing to help you, but they may not know that you need help, and they may not know that you have a deficiency in some area, or they may in themselves have a deficiency in some area, or they may need help. So when we do these things where we're taking inventory, whether you're taking inventory of the heroes, the things within a hero that makes them a hero, and then applying it to yourself, or whether you're looking internally and then trying to downplay the deficiencies you have and upplay the positive aspects, you may be able to share that with somebody else, and you may be a good candidate to be a mentor for somebody else. It all goes back to, again, mindfulness, being a bit more introspective of the things that you do and the things that you put out to the world, and of course what the world is putting back out there to you. I wanted to ask a question too. If you could be someone else, who would it be? And I know everybody usually gives the stock answer, oh, I love me, I would never want to be anybody else, this is great. No, I think we've all have some folks that we've seen on TV or when you were growing up that you really admired, and if you had an opportunity, at least maybe even for just one day, that you'd switch places with that person. So I really want to know, is there some person that's out there that you've always admired and that you'd love to switch places with? You can put those comments in the DMs. And I can share some of those experiences, or those ideas, or that person anonymously. And that brings us to one of the items that my brother had brought up. And by the way, today's show is going to be a bit abbreviated. I've got to take care of the kids today. Once again, I've got a sick son all this week, but it also leads into me talking a little bit about the new show that's actually coming up, in the format and the other items that are going to be in there. So, folks, we'll talk a little bit more about mentorship tomorrow, but I just wanted to give a few announcements before ending the show a little early for today, because, of course, we are going to be uploading that Andrew Yang challenge, viral video challenge. tomorrow, so I'm going to cut short a little bit to work on that thing. But I also wanted to mention to everybody that, again, this show, The Drive, is kind of a supplement to a proposed show that myself, and I wanted to make a good announcement, Dan Eichler and my brother, Aaron Washington, will be participating in. Dan has graciously agreed to be my co-host on that YouTube show that we're going to have. So that means Dan Eichler and Brandon Washington are going to be broadcasting coast to coast on a brand new YouTube show that we are going to be creating. We don't have all of our details down yet, but I want you guys to keep your eyes open for that. And The Drive is going to be kind of like my own personal back behind the scenes to that show, and it's going to be, again, this format will be a little bit more, because you can probably tell I jump around a lot of topics when we're doing these live videos because it doesn't really suit long form conversations. So on The Drive, we're going to jump through a lot of different topics, just talk about those things of the day and give you some highlights from what's happening on our real show that we're going to have over on YouTube. And of course, Aaron Washington is going to be doing some great producing on that show. And I'm not sure if all of the people from Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh, you'll probably know that my brother ran his own bar for a while, and he also does some amazing things with graphics and computers and some all that, that wonderful communication techniques that he's got there. Visual communication, social media communication, he does all those things. I dabble a bit myself, and we really want to bring you guys a good show, cutaways and clips and features and all those wonderful things. And we're thinking Dan and I are going to be talking about the format this weekend. My brother and I are also going to be talking about that format, and we're all going to try to get together and make a nice little stew of all of those ideas and bring out a good work product for everybody who's watching. Obviously, I am a little dry, so we have Dan, who's going to be adding a little bit of comedy and perspective and realism to it. I will try to do the same. And we want to just make something that's good and comprehensive, that's funny, entertaining, and we think we're going to bring something pretty good to you. So, folks, I want you guys, if you can, to reach out to Dan if you've got ideas. Tell him your ideas. If you're one of the friends that Dan has brought along, reach out to me, give me some ideas. We want to bring all ideas about what this show can be to the table. Because again, that YouTube show is not just for me and Dan to talk on for a few a half hour or an hour. It's to get ideas and information about the people that we all know, our friends, our families, together, talking about the topics that we all want to talk about, sharing information, and hopefully making each other's lives a lot better. All right? So we've got some really great things planned for the future. I hope you guys will hang in there with me as we talk through some of these other topics to just get an idea and a feel for doing this live on camera. If you've got tips on what we can do to improve this show and the upcoming YouTube show, if you've got ideas, anything like that, I encourage you to send those things in to direct message me or direct message Dan Eichler or Aaron Washington with show ideas or tips or any of those things. If there's something that you do that could be helpful and you'd like to be part of the show, let me know too. We want to make this something like a community thing where we can grab a bunch of people, make something that's really great, and get that core group of people that are going to really contribute to the show so that we can make this something really special. Okay? So guys, I want to remind you that we don't have a title yet for our YouTube show. So if you have a title suggestion or an idea of what we can call this show, again, we've got a African-American gentleman all the way out here on the California side, and we will have Dan Eichler all the way over there on the East Coast. Give you a little bit of diversity of opinion. I'll give you the what's happening out here in California. I'll give you what's happening out in Pennsylvania and on the East Coast. And we want to bring you something really nice. So think of a title that could convey what we can be bringing to you. Okay? Another item that we wanted to do is introduce the concept of anonymous stories. Since I really like to delve into the idea of social work and how social work can improve people's lives, I would really like if people would share some of the issues that you have, not directly here on live, but send me something via direct message. I can then redact and take out all of the personal information so that we're not sharing all of the personal information, and it won't be recognizable to anybody else whose story it is. And then we'd like to share some of those stories and talk about some of those solutions that you have out there, you guys, some of the solutions that I want to put forward, and then we'll kind of see how we meet in the middle on those things, and we'll discuss those things over the course of a few days. So I wanted to introduce that idea of the anonymous stories that we will be doing here on the drive. And again, I want you to keep putting forward comments and ideas about what we can do on the YouTube show that's coming up. Next, I wanted to just say thank you to both Dan and Aaron Washington for jumping up, moving forward, and helping to support this, because I'm telling you guys, the YouTube show that we're going to be doing is going to be amazing. We want to just bring in everything that you guys are thinking and do some real talking and do some real great work for you. So, folks, again, ending it a little bit early today. I appreciate you watching. Thank you again. I love you, and have a great night. It's that weird moment whenever you pause to stop and then don't push the finish button and you're staring at the camera. Yeah, weird. All right, guys. Bye.